Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The Indiana Fever. Oh man, they have absolutely wrecked Caitlin Clark's season. Every single person in that organization needs to be fired. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's dig into this. So, I've been thinking about this for a while. You've probably heard me mention it here and there about Caitlin Clark and what she's been going through. And the more I think about it, the way they have handled her injury is absolutely ridiculous. There's no excuse for any of this. Caitlin Clark clearly has had a serious injury, the groin. You've heard us talk about it. You've heard others talk about it, how it's tricky and, it could seem like things are great and then you tweak it and it could be an ongoing problem. And what has she been doing all season long? Well, we see stuff like this every single game. Now, look, yeah, is it cool that Caitlin met Aries' AAU team? I think this was actually in Golden State? Sure, it's cool. It is. I agree. But that being said, let me ask you this. Why is Caitlin Clark in Golden State, right? She spent her entire season. She has played 13 games, folks. 13 games. The Fever have played 40, and yet she has spent her entire season doing this stuff. And I could just do it from game to game to game to game to game. Okay. It is a serious, serious problem. Why? I'm so glad you asked. You guys are the best. So we had this last night. I think it was last night. It might have been the night before. Stephanie White says Chloe Bibby hasn't had a setback, but all of the traveling made her left knee swell up so much that it caused some issues. So she won't be available tonight. Well, number one, that's a setback. I'm just saying, it's a setback. And Stephanie White, you are a liar. There's no reason to trust you about anything when you can come out and say, oh, well, her knee swelled up, but she hasn't had a setback. And that's what she was cleared to play. She didn't play because her injured knee swelled up, but she did not have a setback with her injury. Are you kidding me? Are you that stupid? Seriously. Are you one of these single digit IQ doorknobs that I talk about? Oh my goodness. I didn't think they were in the coaches. I mean, I think there were some bad coaches, but I didn't know you were a doorknob. But yeah, so that is ridiculous. So that is why Caitlin Clark has has spent her season doing this stuff. And I want to point out, you heard what she said, with all of the traveling and stuff, her knee swelled up. So let me ask you something, because again, and now right here's a different game, and here's Caitlin Clark signing autographs. Why? Caitlin Clark has a type of injury. Well, I mean, really all injuries need rehab at some point. But for let's say, for example, you break your foot. Okay, as an athlete, a player, you break your foot. You don't need surgery. You just need a cast, and you get the cast. You need it for say 4 to 6 weeks. It's for a few days. Everything's fine. You're just walking on crutches. You can probably travel with the team. I mean, you have to talk to the doctor about swelling and getting on the plane and that sort of thing. But you're not rehabbing it while you're in the cast. Okay, Caitlin Clark, because we've already been told, right? Agatha Harkness, or Scott, or whatever her name is, said that what Caitlin's in the training room a lot and she's gone up north to the hyperbaric chamber and this and that. And if that's the case, again, what the freaking heck is she doing traveling to all these damn away games? Caitlin Clark has been out for almost the entire season for an injury that requires attention. Never should she have been traveling with the team. That's how often. Never. But the Indiana Fever knows what they have with Caitlin Clark. The WNBA knows what they have with Caitlin Clark. They hate it, but they know it. So they wanted her tagging along to all these damn games like a freaking mascot, so that they can dangle her in front of the fans, so she can be there, so people can still see her. Get people to go to the games, not maybe they can't even sell their tickets. That's where it's get. But if they can't sell their tickets, you want them to not know. You don't want them to no show, right? So dangle her. Keep pretending the next day is the day that she's going to be playing. Get her into the arena so people can see her and get autographs. Get her into the arena so the cameras can show her like she's Taylor Swift at a Kansas City Chiefs game, and all the fans can tune in on TV to watch that and hope they catch a glimpse of Caitlin Clark on the bench, because that is much better than the game itself. And they do that at risk of injuring Caitlin Clark more. Hey, what happens if, I don't know, a coach steps on her foot really, really hard and she hurts her foot? What happens if somebody bumps into her and her foot slides a bit and she tweaks her groin? What happens? Because I saw in the game the other night, Lexi Hull came, the ball went flying towards Caitlin Clark, and I think it was Lexi Hull who went to see it, and Caitlin Clark actually got up quickly to get out of the way. Is that really what you want a player with an injured groin to be doing? Of course, the alternative is she doesn't move and a player or two falls full force on her in her lap and, she tweaks her groin. It makes zero sense for Caitlin Clark to be traveling to away games. There is no reason whatsoever for all of this stuff to be happening. This is not about protecting Caitlin Clark. This is not about getting Caitlin Clark healthy and back on the court. This is about using Caitlin Clark for the benefit of the Fever organization, for the benefit of the WNBA, and putting Caitlin Clark at risk of further injuring herself. And again, the groin, it's tricky. You do something to that groin. You completely tear that groin. Caitlin Clark may never play basketball again. Caitlin Clark may eventually come back and never be the same again. But Caitlin Clark, are you listening? I really hope you're listening. Wake up. And I don't say that to be mean because I get it. I get that Caitlin Clark would want to travel with the team. I get that Caitlin Clark wants to sign autographs. I get that Caitlin Clark, bless her heart, wants to grow the WNBA. And she realizes that she takes that on as a responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And that is something that Caitlin Clark has fully embraced in terms of wanting to grow the WNBA. So I'm not yelling at Caitlin Clark, but I'm kind of saying like she needs someone in her inner circle. That's what's really irking me. She doesn't have anyone around her that's looking out for the benefit of Caitlin Clark. We see how Nike treats her. We see what her agent is like. There's a POS for you. Somebody should have told Caitlin Clark, hey, you have a tricky injury. You need to stay home. You can go to home games, but you should not be traveling with this team. There's no reward for Caitlin Clark to be traveling with this team, but there is risk. And for the Indiana Fever to have her traveling with the team, even if Caitlin Clark wants to, for that organization with a medical opinion of saying, no, this is not a good idea. You need to be here. You need to be here for your rehab. You need to be here for your recovery. You should be sleeping in your own bed every night. We have to limit the risk of what travel brings. We have to limit the risk of you sitting courtside. Which is the other thing, by the way. If she is sitting, she shouldn't be sitting on the bench with that injury where she has to get up quickly because a player is flying toward her. She should be sitting in the second or third row so that is not a possibility. But yeah, I'm a little worked up with this one because the more I think about it, the more pissed I am that they make her, I shouldn't say make her, that they allow her to travel with this team considering the injury she has. Absolutely ridiculous. It's appalling. Everyone involved with this decision should be fired immediately. I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted by it. This season absolutely sucked, and the Indiana Fever organization and those who run it are a big part of the reason why. Look, you can't control that athletes get hurt. I get that they get hurt, and that sucked. But the way everything around it has been handled is all stuff that was preventable. Control what you can control, folks. That's something I tell to my young athletes all the damn time. Don't worry about the other stuff, but control what you can control. Control your attitude, control your effort, control how you communicate with teammates, all of these things. And don't worry about the other stuff. The problem is the Fever, the WNBA have been absolutely inept and terrible with controlling what they can control and with thinking about the long term and what Caitlin Clark brings to the WNBA. They don't give a crap about Caitlin Clark. That is really obvious with how they've handled her injury. But I'm going to leave it there because I could rant on this for a long, long time. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.